Bioshock Rapture, the novel. When I first heard about this idea, this book coming out, July 19th in fact, less than a week ago, I have to say I was freaking thrilled. What is it really about Bioshock that appeals to, gamers, myself included, for, PS3, Xbox, PC? Why is this such a big deal? Well, it's a great story, first and foremost. It is a survival horror first-person shooter, and yes, you will cower at those last three words, first-person shooter, because a lot of them are getting stale, but Bioshock is no ordinary first-person shooter. It, to give a short summary, if you don't know the premise, you go down to a undersea world, not Atlantis, and it is a dystopia. A dystopia is a utopia gone wrong. Basically, everything's gone wrong. A civil war broke out. Everybody's either dead or a splicer, which we will get to later. So yeah, it's a crazy, effed up world, and I loved every minute of it. Not just for its scary factor, but also for how in-depth it is. So let's talk about the book. If you know the premise, good for you. Make it easier for me to explain it. So here's what the book does. It follows, all the events of Rapture that lead up exactly right to the first game, Bioshock 1. And this is, this is the last hurrah for the original Bioshock. Bioshock Infinite's coming out next year. This is it. They're going to release a book, one and done. No more Bioshock or Bioshock 2. No more of the original Bioshock, so they say. So it follows, for the most part, it starts off with following the events of Bill McDonough. Don't know him? He had a few audio clips in Bioshock, and then he died. You find him in Andrew Ryan's office, impaled on the wall with a spear through his back. He's dead. Bill McDonough is dead. So going into this, oh great, I'm reading about a dead guy. So that's nice. So yeah, going into this, I did feel a little, morbid or whatever. I'm reading about a guy who I know is dead meat. So, but anyways, forgetting that, let's talk about him. Bill McDonough is an Irish immigrant. He's in New York. He basically is a brilliant, he's brilliant in his own craft, and that is he's an engineer. He knows things about that, building things, keeping things maintained, etc. But he's wasting his talents, or he feels wasting his talents, repairing toilets for this guy in New York, Chinowski, I believe his name is, doesn't respect him, blah blah blah. He goes to repair Andrew Ryan's bathroom. Andrew Ryan is this very influential, very rich man in New York. He came over from Russia. His father saved him from Russia, and he's very powerful. So McDonough goes to work for him, and Ryan, who feels for the working class, he's very all about the working man, all about the man, what man can do. He watches McDonough. He's impressed by his work, and so basically, he respects his work and everything, and Ryan, hates the governments of the world. He hates Russia's communism. He hates American capitalism. He thinks they're both evil. The world's destroying itself. His last straw is when his chief of security, Sullivan, shows him the photos he took of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is World War II, the end of World War II. 1945 is when the book starts. So Ryan sees that, and he's like, this is it. I'm going to put this plan into action. The plan being to build Rapture, this underwater city, free from the governments of the world, free from morality or God. Yeah, Andrew Ryan's a huge atheist. So he's going to build this world. He recruits Bill McDonough. So McDonough is, absolutely thrilled. He's getting an opportunity here from Andrew Ryan. Again, one of the most powerful men in the world. So throughout the book, I'm like not even halfway there. The first 70 pages, I think, they're like following the progress of Rapture. It's being built. Then in section 2, it's built. It's done. They all go to live down there, and it's great. It's paradise for Ryan. He's got his own underwater city, free from the governments of the world, and not everything's peaches and cream though. No, everyone gets down there, and they find, one particular section, it's unregulated market. It's a free market. Anyone can do what they want. They can place any price, and that person has to pay the price. Tough shit. Go find something else, So, yeah, that's a problem. It ends up in a shootout where one guy kills another and then kills himself. So, great, right? So Ryan sees this. He sees that it all slowly going downhill. So that's kind of where I'm at, I think, so to speak. My last part was where Frank Fontaine. Okay, he's another character real quick. Frank Fontaine is not his real name. In the book, for the first, again, 60, 70 pages, he's known as Frank Gorland. He's this criminal. He's this guy who has all these names. Frank Gorland's not even his real name. He has all these aliases. And, he hears of Rapture, this building of Rapture, and he's like, opportunity, he can make something of this, make some money, make some get power. He wants to take over Rapture. That's his eventual goal. So he kills Captain Fontaine, this guy who works for the building of Rapture. He provides him with fish, Fontaine's Fisheries. Frank Fontaine kills him. Frank Gorland kills him and takes over his identity, becomes Frank Fontaine. Goes down to Rapture and becomes powerful, essentially. Gets his own private bathysphere, which is the thing that travels through the city to get around partially. And he's the talk of the town. And Ryan is suspicious of him, definitely. But hey, free market. This guy appears. He's just gonna watch him. He's gonna watch him very closely. But hey, it's a free market. He can do what he wants. So yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. There's other characters of note. Obviously, there's Bill McDonagh, who is now he's married to Andrew Ryan's secretary, Elaine. They have a child coming, and things are going well for Bill. And so that's him. There's Bridget Tenenbaum is a German scientist, a very young German scientist who was in a Nazi concentration camp as a small child. So she has like these scars and everything. She's very brilliant, but people kind of look at her like, kind of afraid of her. She does all these experiments, and she's very suspicious. So yeah, so there's her. There is Dr. Yi Soo-chong, who is a very cruel Asian guy. For lack of a better word, he's Korean, I believe. He does all these experiments, and that's why he's here. Ryan recruited all these people so they can experiment. They can do things without the regulations of God or morality of, regulations of God. Regulations of the government and the morality of God. There it is. So, yeah. That's kind of it. I mean, it's a great book. It follows a lot of stories. It explains a lot. The last part I just read was where Fontaine is having a meeting with Soo-chong and Tenenbaum about his companies he's making. He's investing. He's going to invest in them to create powers because they can rewrite the genetic code. They're messing around with genes, particularly Soo-chong. He's a cruel guy. And Fontaine wants to invest in them so he can maybe have them make superpowers, make people immortal, so to speak. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'll give you a part 2 when I get maybe to the end, if you're interested. I know my friend Chris Nelson's a huge Bioshock fan, so yeah, just stick around, and God love Bioshock. Andrew Ryan, man, particularly, if you love Andrew Ryan, he's really good in this. You actually see a different side of him for a while. He's not like this evil guy. You feel for him. He's very sympathetic. You feel sympathetic for him. So, anyways, if you're interested, keep an eye out for part 2 of this. Love the book, love the game, obviously, and I can't wait to read the rest. Take care. Have a good night.